Alabama football expects big things from sophomore wide receiver Ryan Williams, but will he meet expectations in 2025? Stick around. Let's talk about it. This is Way Off Sides. 3, 2, let's go. Hey, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever the case may be. Welcome to Way Off Sides. I want to see how fast I can say that. It's pretty quick, if I say so myself. Pretty fast. I'm fast. Anyway, welcome to Way Off Sides, your favorite Alabama talk on YouTube. We are getting so close to the season. Week 0 already started. It's here. It's practically here. College football's here. All of the wacky takes we've had all off season are either going to come to fruition or we're going to be eating some crow. And I've had one earlier on in the summer that a lot of folks kind of keyed in on that we're going to talk about today. I'm going to tell you why I'm doubling down on it, and I am still right. But before we get there, leave a big Roll Tide in the comment box below. Let me know where you're watching from while you're there. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, share this video with all your friends. Tell them where to find us. And pretty much just buckle up and let's have a good time together. Ryan Williams, the sensational 18-year-old, no longer 17, turned 18 in February, the sensational sophomore, enters his second season at the University of Alabama. And I would argue that expectations are higher for him than anybody else on the team because of what he was able to do in 2024. Now, in 2024, Ryan Williams burst onto the scene with 48 receptions, 865 receiving yards. He was averaging about 18 yards a catch, 8 touchdowns, had a long of 84 yards. Now, what really set him up on that national stage was the Georgia game. We all know that. We all know what happened, right? It was a thing of beauty, coming in clutch when Alabama needed him, and his name immediately went into the legend category for Alabama players. He joined the likes of guys like Devontae Smith and Tua and Jalen Milroe and that one wide receiver that we won't mention. But after that, it kind of felt like he fell off a little bit. And I don't think this was due to Ryan Williams. He was utilizing correctly in the sense that, we all know Jalen Milroe struggled during the season. He was inconsistent. There was a lot of issues with him distributing the ball effectively across the field. Now, to credit Jalen Milroe, not all of that was him. Some of it was the offensive line. I'm sorry, whoever you are in the comment section that always brings up the offensive line. I can't remember your name, but you're not wrong. Alabama's offensive line has been sketchy, to say the least, over the last couple of years. I saw a graphic not long ago that was explaining how many folks have transferred out of Alabama's offensive line since 2020, and it's crazy. It's a wild graphic. I need to find it and put it on a video. I'll do that later. Anyway, and then the wide receivers weren't helpful to Jalen Milroe as well in some sense of the word. They were out of position. They weren't doing their jobs correctly. There was, according to Nick Sheridan, with the bat for Jalen Milroe a lot in post-game pressures, especially in those losses, and pretty much said, these wide receivers in some instances aren't doing their jobs. Now, this team this year seems refocused. They seem re-energized, recharged. It feels a lot like the Bama of old. And we know how talented this wide receiving room is. We've done a ton of videos on it. They've got 3 potential first rounders that are going to start. There could be a couple of potential first rounders sitting behind the starters. Just absolutely embarrassment of riches. You bring in Ty Simpson, who should be a more consistent passer, assuming the offensive line does their job, which we're hoping they do. The expectation is high there too. It seems to be high all over the place. But you have to ask, will Ryan Williams fall victim to the tragic and fabled sophomore slump? For those of you who don't know what a sophomore slump is, sometimes in college football, you have a freshman who comes and busts on the scene, and everybody learns the name. Everybody knows who they are. The expectations go through the roof. Oh, so-and-so is going to win a Heisman Trophy, blah, blah, blah. Then they go in their sophomore year and they don't produce at the level that everybody expects. It's actually really common because of the high pressure situations in college football. And you're talking about kids. And so I had to ask myself the question, like, will Ryan Williams suffer from the sophomore slump in 2025? Normally I would probably say, yeah, he could, but I think this situation is a little different. And we're going to talk about that a little bit. First and foremost, I think that Ryan Williams, although is very, very young, he understands football at a maturity level higher than a lot of his peers. I think that Williams could have finished as the best wide receiver, statistically speaking, in 2024 had he had a more accurate quarterback throw into him. If he wasn't used as kind of like a Hail Mary, last saving grace type receiver in a lot of instances, if he was used more strategically. And then I've heard Ryan in the offseason talk. He's been vocal about some of he hasn't really gone into detail, but that he was going through some stuff last season that people just aren't aware of. And I think that lent itself to a lot of the frustrations and stuff that were going on the field, whatever it is. I'm sure all of you have heard the rumors of what the problems was. Be sure to put them in the comment section, because I know you want to. Let me hear them. But I think that Ryan Williams, he struggled a lot in that transition year into his first year in college. And he struggled and still played the way he did. He said it. He's like, you guys ain't seen nothing yet. If you think that's all I can do, you're crazy. So I believe him. I absolutely believe him. And there's something about this team to where everybody just feels a little more comfortable and bought in. We talk about this a lot, a whole lot, probably more than we should, but it's worth talking about. It's worth note. Coaches, people around the program, staff, players, fellow players, even recruits and their families talk about there's just a different vibe in Tuscaloosa, and everybody's kind of glued together and bought into whatever process Kalen DeBoer is selling. And that could be Nick Saban's process, but either way, it's interesting because I do feel like it's changing the dynamic of the team. It's changing the mindset of the team. There's more of a brotherhood. There's not so many me's in the locker room. I think that's been a problem for Alabama for a while. And I think Ryan Williams is going to excel because of that. As well, it's going to be really hard for defensive coordinators to lock him down, in a sense that Alabama has the talent to distribute the ball effectively and efficiently, all from sideline to sideline in 2025, assuming that Ty can do that job. And it's going to be hard to just, double cover Ryan Williams all game. And that's going to allow him to be used in different ways by Ryan Grubb, who will also benefit Ryan Williams. And Kalen DeBoer. And so I don't think the sophomore slump is going to be a concern for Ryan Williams going into the 2025 season. I actually think he's going to finish with better numbers than Jeremiah Smith. I did a whole video on that. You can go back and watch it. That was months ago, but it's a really good video. I think all my videos are good because I'm biased and I'm me. But in terms of Ryan Williams, I've heard some people talk about concerns about a sophomore slump, because it does happen, especially at the skill player position, wide receivers, running backs, quarterbacks. And so I think that Ryan, no matter who he is off the field, on the field, he's a professional, and he takes on this persona on the field that kind of engulfs his entire play. And because of that, I don't expect there to be a big drop off. I expect him to potentially lead the team in reception yards, maybe touchdowns. I expect him to have a very, very big year. He'll be in the Blitnikoff conversation when we get closer to the end of the season, and maybe even the Heisman Trophy conversation, especially if he's playing for a national championship or competing for a national championship in the college football playoff. So for those of you who are on social media and have heard this kind of talk, no, it's not something that necessarily I think you need to worry about. So I could be wrong, could absolutely be wrong. We're still talking about an 18-year-old, but I think Ryan Williams understands the expectation and the heavy burden of being him at Alabama, what that means, what the expectation is from him, not just from the fans, but from the coaches, from his quarterback, from his everybody around him. Right now, he is the face of Alabama football, but he wears that gracefully, I think. Not to say he's not. I'm sure in his own way he's humble, but he's kind of earned the right not to be, right? So tell me in the comments below, what do you expect from Ryan Williams this year? Do you think there'll be more focus on getting him the ball, or do you think Alabama will distribute the ball more efficiently? Thanks for sticking around with me. Love each and every one of you. As always, say your prayers, read your Bibles, wash your hands, horns down, beat Auburn and LSU and Tennessee to roll Tide.